lists are harmless. This one is not. Because when you talk about the greatest artists of all time, you're not just ranking musicians. You're ranking the architects of culture. The people who bent sound, rewired emotion, and honestly left fingerprints on entire generations. And no matter what names I say today, somebody out there is going to be pissed off from this list. But you know what I say? Good. Because greatness isn't polite. Greatness isn't loud. It's messy. It's defiant. It's earth-shattering. And the artist on this list didn't just make music. They changed the damn world. Today, we climb that mountain. Welcome to Ampyre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. This is the show that takes you on a journey through the world of music. The riffs, the legends, the hidden stories, and the lessons that fuel creativity. Here we break down the craft, the culture, and the chaos of sound, making it raw and unforgettable. Whether you're a musician, a fan, or just hungry for knowledge, Ampyre is your backstage pass to the rebellion of audio. So plug in, turn up. This is Ampyre Sessions. I am your host, Dustin, and today we are kicking off the inaugural episode of our top 10 countdowns. Everybody likes a countdown, right? I've never seen anyone that watches a TV show or something back in the day and he had countdowns on the list constantly. Everyone loves a good top 10 countdown. So that is what we are going to do. Instead of doing the Billboard list, which I originally wanted to do, I figured sometimes that can get a little too political, and some of those artists that are on there probably shouldn't be ranked where they are, but who am I to say? That's why I figured we'd just switch it to a countdown list. Everyone loves a good countdown, right? It's unbiased, and it's rocking and rolling and ready to go. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the biggest, the boldest, the most controversial list of them all. The top 10 greatest artists of all time. So, let's just jump into it. I'm gonna explain first how this works, okay? So we have a framework, so to speak, on how I rank these artists, okay? Here's how this list is built, okay? These are the rules, so to speak. This artist had to have significant impact, okay? Did they change the direction of music, where it was heading, where it was, compared to where we are now, things of that nature? Did they have influence? Did other artists reshape themselves because that person was around? That is such a huge category, and especially today's day and age, when we're bringing back many trends and themes from the past. Longevity is another rule. So did their work survive? Okay. Did they leave behind a legacy, so to speak? Cultural weight. Did they move the world outside of the studio? In other words, did their craft and how they were able to shape things, did they shape the world better for it? Not just from their music, but from just who they were as a person. And then they had to have some sort of mythology behind them, okay? Did they create a story that was bigger than themselves? Did they leave a lasting impact? Did they, so to speak, were they a great storyteller in their music? Okay. So at the end of the day, this isn't about genre, guys. These top 10s could be any genre, anywhere, anytime, any era, okay? This isn't about genre. If it was, it'd be all rock, and I'd probably lose half you guys. But just to be safe, unbiased, and fair, this is any genre, anytime, okay? This isn't about charts, okay? It wasn't about who had the most hits at the time or something like that. It's those rules that I just listed are literally how people got on this list, okay? This is about legacy at the end of the day. So, without further ado, we shall begin with number 10. At number 10... this one is controversial. This artist was extremely controversial for back in the day. Another at number 10, we start with David Bowie, okay? They are what they known as the shapeshifter, okay? So why is David Bowie here in this spot? That's a good question, right? Bowie didn't just reinvent himself. He reinvented the idea of reinvention. He treated identity like clay, bending it into Ziggy, the Thin White Duke, and a dozen other forms. He made weirdness feel like a destiny and turned self-transformation into an art form. Bowie wasn't following culture. He was dragging it into the future. Key works from David Bowie's career, albums such as Ziggy Stardust, Low, Heroes, and Black Star. Such defining songs in their career as Heroes, Space Oddity, and Life on Mars. Innovation in the character-driven albums. Early electronic experimentation had a cultural impact, normalized androgyny, influenced fashion and identity, and let's be honest, creative signature, reinvention as a rebellion. He was a rebel in all words of the means, okay? That is how we kick off our number 10, is with David Bowie making this list. Now we move on to number 9, okay? Number 9, in my opinion, if I made this list, which I did, but I had a little help on the back end of it, so to speak, and jogging my minds of possibly renowned artists all over the world. Because let's be honest, I don't know everything about music. So I do know enough to be proficient at this, but I don't know enough without a little bit of help on, who and where and why should be listed here. So at number 9, none other, I would have placed her a long ways ahead. It's Aretha Franklin, literally defined as the voice of power. This woman could drag on a note for decades if she wanted to. One of the most heavy-hitting just vocalists ever in the history of music. Aretha didn't sing songs. She commanded them. Her voice could break you open or lift you to the heavens. She defined what it meant to be in genres as soul, gospel, and R&B with a force that still echoes through every vocalist who dares to reach for something bigger. She didn't just ask for RESPECT. She took it. That is why Aretha Franklin is on this list. Let's break down some of her work, shall we? Key albums created Lady Soul and I Never Loved a Man. Defining songs, as I just gave you a hint, Respect or RESPECT. Think and Chain of Fools. Innovations, gospel-powered soul vocals that could rock your world like none other. Cultural impact, soundtrack of the civil rights movement, and creative signature, power-rooted in vulnerability. Everything from being strong to being open. That is what Aretha Franklin defined. None other, she took the 9th spot. I personally would have probably ranked her a little bit higher, but we'll see who we have up that could possibly beat the goddess of soul. Move on. Yeah, number 8, Bob Dylan. Okay, you're probably going to be shocked at what I'm probably going to say here. I did not listen to a lot of Bob Dylan. This is also why I needed a little bit of help, okay? I know Bob Dylan was a generational voice, but I personally never listened to a lot of them. So I'm learning right along with people that don't even know who Bob Dylan is. So yes, the pen that changed the world. Why is Bob Dylan here at number 8? Dylan weaponized words. He turned songwriting into literature, protest into poetry, and folk into a cultural earthquake. His voice wasn't pretty, and it wasn't meant to be. It was a vessel of truth, rebellion, and raw humanity. His key work with key albums such as Highway 61 Revisited, Blonde on Blonde, defining songs like a Rolling Stone, Blowing in the Wind, innovations, poetic lyricism, and surrealist storytelling. Cultural impact gave folk music a political spine. His creative signature was using words as a weapon. That I will say I did know about Bob Dylan. He had really good poetic lyricism to where his songs told you a very good story, even though his voice wasn't that pretty. But yes, Bob Dylan does land here at number 8. And then we move on to, I'm going to get a lot of grief on this one, number 7, Beyonce, a living modern titan. So why is Beyonce here at number 7? People are going to get a lot of grief, so I'm hoping number 6 and above people do agree with me on. But Beyonce is the blueprint of modern excellence. A performer with no ceiling, a visionary with no fear, and a cultural force who redefines the standard every time she steps on stage. She doesn't chase trends. Beyonce sets them. Key work albums include Lemonade, self-titled album Beyonce, and Renaissance. Defining songs as Formation, Halo, and Crazy in Love. Innovations, very visual albums, and fused a genre. Cultural impact, feminist icon, global performer. Creative signature, precision and power. I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to. Beyonce is like the modern day Aretha Franklin. People hang on to every word when she's on stage. She's a creative genius. She's marvelous at what she does. She's gifted, but then she uses her gift for the right reasons. And it's beautiful, beautiful work that she creates. But yes, Beyonce is at number 7. 7. Why? Like, even Beyonce passed Aretha Franklin. We better have some really, really good artists coming up here that really set generations, because if you're already surpassing those two, in my opinion, we got a lot to talk about. Jimi Hendrix is at number 6. Jimi Hendrix is the guitar god, okay? So why is Jimi Hendrix here? Hendrix didn't play guitar, he spoke through it. He turned electricity into emotion, distortion into a language, and improvisation into a spiritual event. Every guitarist alive is living in Jimi Hendrix's shadow. Work breakdown. Jimi Hendrix key albums: Are You Experienced? Electric Ladyland. Defining songs as Purple Haze, Voodoo Child. Innovations, feedback as music and psychedelic tone shaping. Left a cultural impact, redefining rock guitar forever. His creative signature was electricity as motion, and literally set a standard for what it is to be a guitar god. At number 5, we have Prince, the Purple Architect. So why is Prince at 5? Prince was a one-man universe. A songwriter, producer, guitarist, vocalist, and performer operating at god-tier levels. He didn't break genre rules. He ignored them entirely. His creativity was volcanic. Key albums of his: Purple Rain. Everyone knows that song, right? 99, The Sign of Times. Defining songs, as I already stated: Purple Rain, Kiss, and When Doves Cry. Innovations, multi-instrumentalism, genre blending, idealization. Cultural impact, he challenged censorship. In creative signature, he controlled chaos. This unpopular opinion, but if you would mix who Jimi Hendrix was with what Michael Jackson was, I think that's what you get with Prince. You get the showmanship and the outgoingness of Michael Jackson with the pure talent of a just great guitarist. And I think that's why at number 5 you have Prince. Now we take to the summit of wins, guys. The summit of wins. We are at number 4. We are halfway through this first top 10 countdown. Please, if you're watching me, please comment and tell me what you think so far. But we'll jump right into number 4, which I already said his name earlier. Michael Jackson, a global phenomenon. Why is Michael Jackson at 4, you're saying? Shouldn't Michael Jackson be higher on the list? Well, Michael Jackson didn't just dominate charts, he dominated culture. He reshaped what pop music was. He reshaped dance, music videos. A global superstardom itself, he reshaped. He turned performance into a spectacle, and a spectacle into history. His key albums are Thriller, Bad, and Off the Wall. Defining songs: Billie Jean, Beat It, Smooth Criminal. Innovations, music videos as cinema. He literally turned those times when you were watching his videos into a movie, which was amazing. Cultural impact, he broke racial barriers on MTV. Creative signature, precision, and spectacle. That is Michael Jackson at number 4. Some of these names, guys, I wish I could put up there. If it wasn't, that's the only bad part about a top 10 list, right? You're sitting here and you're counting down these artists and you're like, man, they should be up higher. It's like, I wonder who's going to be next and next and next and so on and so forth. But then you're stuck wondering, it's like, man, Aretha Franklin's at 9. Beyonce's at 7, Jimi Hendrix 6, Prince at 5, and then Michael Jackson at 4. I'm scratching my heads just as much as you guys are. But have no fear, number 3 is here. And at number 3, I agree with why they are in the top 3. Everyone knows them. The Beatles, a cultural supernova. Why are the Beatles sitting at 3? The Beatles didn't just evolve, they evolved constantly. They rewrote the rules of songwriting, recording, and global influence. Every era of their career feels like a different band, and every version changed the world. Key albums of the Beatles: Sgt. Pepper's, Abbey Road, and Revolver. Defining songs as Hey Jude and Let It Be. Innovations: studio experimentation, concept albums. Cultural impact: they defined the 60s when it comes to music. Creative signature: constant reinvention. Didn't let the times change them. Every time they were constantly evolving into something bigger and better. I agree with why the Beatles are at 3. Now, let's jump into number 2. Number 2 really should be the whole band entirely, but I get why they wanted to focus just single-handedly on the frontman here. It states Freddie Mercury, but I would put Queen arguably at 2. It literally is the voice of immortality. Why is Freddie Mercury at 2? I think Freddie Mercury and Queen are at 2 just for the sheer fact that it was generational. The music spans completely past even when they were at their prime. Completely to this day. I mean, how many times do you walk into, especially if you're a teacher or something like that, you walk into a spirit day and everyone's in the gym and you're all in the bleachers and you have the prototypical 3 beats. That spans generations from a simple rhythm. And it's fantastic to think that your legacy, even when you're gone, could span light years ahead of when you were in your prime. That is why Freddie Mercury, in my opinion, is at number 2. Freddie Mercury felt mythic even while alive. His voice shouldn't exist in nature. A 4-octave weapon wrapped in charisma and theatrical fire. He didn't just command the stage. The man owned it and the universe above it. Work breakdown, key albums, The Night at the Opera, News of the World. Defining songs as Bohemian Rhapsody and Somebody to Love. Innovations, operative rock with theatrical performance. Cultural impact, he redefined the front man. He expected more, which pushed everyone else. Creative signature, drama as power. I am kind of sad that I will never, ever, ever get to experience a Queen concert. I would love to, because Freddie Mercury defined not only a generation, but redefined a culture, a genre, and just his legacy will forever span light years because of that. That is why he's at number 2. Now, if I'm putting this much effort at number 2, who's one? Who is one? So let's take a moment. Let's catch our breath a little bit, all right? We've climbed from 10 to 2. And every name so far has left a crater in the world. But number 1, that's different. Number 1 isn't just influence, it's ignition. This is the artist who didn't shape music, they detonated it. So take a breath. Let's hit a little recap, right? So starting at number 10, we had the infamous David Bowie. Then at 9, we had Aretha Franklin. At number 8, Bob Dylan. At number 7, Beyonce. At number 6, we had Jimi Hendrix. Number 5, Prince. Number 4, Michael Jackson. Number 3, The Beatles. And number 2, Freddie Mercury. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the crown is next. It's also a reason why our logo has a crown. You're probably like, Dustin, get on with it. I want to hear number 1. Number 1, ladies and gentlemen, and I do agree with this at number 1 wholeheartedly. Elvis Presley, the catalyst. If Freddie Mercury defined a generation and made songs and rhythms that'll last a lifetime, Elvis Presley was more than that. So why is Elvis here at one? Before Elvis, music was divided. After Elvis, it was unleashed. He didn't invent rock and roll, but he detonated it. He brought Black musical traditions into the mainstream, shattered cultural barriers, and truly, to be honest, became the first true global icon. Before you had even legends like Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, and other legends before, you had Elvis. Okay? Elvis's key work, from key albums of the self-titled Elvis Presley, from Elvis in Memphis, defining songs Hound Dog, Suspicious Minds, Innovations, Rockabilly Fusion, and a Crossover Stardom. Cultural impact, a globalized rock. Creative signature, rebellion wrapped in charm. If you don't think that Elvis Presley once got a bit of shed of hate for what he was doing, you are wrong. I don't know how many things I can recall where people just disliked the way he moved his hips on stage and things like that. People got offended by it, and how he would wear rhinestone outfits that just made him pop. I just don't understand the criticism that people gave him back in the time. But of course, I wasn't alive back then, so I can't understand that nowadays. But yes, Elvis is at number one. So if you put all these together, you're probably going to state, well, what about this person? What about that person? You missed her. You missed him. You missed this group. It's like, yes, but that is the problem, ladies and gentlemen, with top 10 countdowns. I could sit here and still do a top 100 countdown, and I guarantee there would always be somebody I missed, right? Like, nothing's ever perfect. The countdown isn't perfect. But I think for the most part, this countdown did a really good job of explaining cultural impact, having innovations, being able to define generations, and have creative signatures. I really think that this top 10 did a really good job. So, what does the audience think? I'm going to leave that up to y'all. This is the list that's going to ignite some comments. I guarantee it. There always is. A top 10 countdown is always going to be like, but what about this person? It is what it is. So, on any of my social media platforms, you feel free to comment. I will respond back. Who did I miss? Tell me. What is too high? Or who is too high, should I say? And who is too low? Good. I'm glad that people would be pissed and spark a debate at this. You know why? Because debate is the heartbeat of a music culture. It lets us debate things and shed our differences, but also be able to possibly give that other person some more knowledge at the end of the day. So please comment on any of my socials. I'm going to list shorts, and then please comment on them, and we'll go from there. But let's take a look back. Let's zoom out for a minute, and let's really look at this with a wider angle. What does this list really say? It says greatness isn't about perfection. It's about impact. It's about risk. And it's about leaving a mark that just refuses to fade. These artists don't make music. They made mythology. They told stories that would span and last generations. So yes, with that, if you guys do me a couple favors, I would appreciate it. One, head over to social media. If this episode really hit you, please share it, like it, subscribe to it. Word of mouth fuels the rebellion. Keep the fire alive. And second of all, with the Backstage Pass, if you want early access, deeper dives, exclusive content, exclusive videos, and exclusive interviews, full-length interviews when eventually I get to those, please join the Backstage Pass, www.ampyresessions.com. Hit the Backstage Pass. The inner circle of the Ampyre awaits. You've been listening to Ampyre Sessions, where discovery meets rebellion. The journey doesn't stop here. Keep exploring, keep creating, keep the fire alive. Until next time, stay loud, stay bold, and never fade into the noise. This was Ampyre Sessions.